Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so you friends see it. Thank you.
Watch ESPN say giving a thumbs up is a white supremacist symbol cause Trump always does it. ESPN host Katie Nolan appeared on VICELAND's Desus Mero where she called President Trump "fking stupid" and claimed that giving a thumbs up is a symbol of white supremacy. "I just found what this means," she said, holding her thumbs and index finger together to make the OK symbol. "I've been using that to mean OK for so long. I'm like, FCK, what?" she said about the OK symbol. "You came on this show to let people know you're down with the alt-right people?" asked co-host Desus Nice asked. "No. Is this banned?" asked giving a thumbs up. "This is bad, and the OK, they're both for white power," said the host. "Fking hell," she said. "Thumbs up is white power now? Holy S," said the other co-host. "We should tell liberals that breathing is a sign of white supremacy. Maybe that will help." "This we obviously know, is a white supremacist symbol, cause Trump always does this," said a host. "That's because he's a effing stupid person," said Nolan about President Trump. Many people complained to ESPN about her comments. "We have looked into the totality of Nolan's comments, they were inappropriate and we have addressed it with her," said an ESPN representative. We are talk show hosts. Meghan McCain destroys Whoopi for trying to diagnose Trump's mental health. One of the most absurd development in liberals and establishment conservatives' non-stop smear campaign against Republican President Donald Trump is how they are now trying to delegitimize the successful former businessman by claiming that he has mental problems. In recent days, a slew of left-wing media figures have used their TV pulpits to play armchair psychiatrist and diagnose the president's psychological state, despite the fact that they are all entirely unqualified to do so. On The View, conservative Meghan McCain scolded Whoopi Goldberg and her other liberal co-hosts when they, too, attempted to diagnose Trump. Said Joy Behar on the ABC show, discussing the new book Fire and Fury, "I have said from the beginning, I think he, President Trump, has short-term memory loss. He says it and the next minute he says it again." Paula Faris admirably checked her, saying, "How often do a lot of us do that? I have short-term memory loss." Undeterred Joy, however, continued, snapping, "You don't understand what it is if you say that. What it is, I say to you, do you like my jacket? It's really cute, I bought it at Bergdorf. Then you say something. I go, do you like my jacket? It is really cute. I bought it at Bergdorf. That's what short-term memory loss is." This is when McCain jumped in and chided them, saying, "So do any of us have a medical degree though? I mean, we're not doctors." Replied Behar, "I don't need a medical degree for what I just said." Hit back McCain, "You're diagnosing. This is another ethically ambiguous area, self-diagnosing. We're not doctors. And again, there's a lot of bigger problems than proverbial proof about things that are going on. And diagnosing our president's mental health." Lied Behar, "We're not diagnosing." Answered Meghan, "We're not doctors. We are talk show hosts." Chimed in Sunny Hostin, "If this is true, I don't think it's a stretch when you know the facts that his father had Alzheimer's for 6 years and then died. And that's one of the problems that we have in terms of the review of our presidents. The president is not mandated to have a medical exam." A boxed-in Behar then quickly cut to commercial. Are you glad McCain silenced her nasty co-hosts? Three Republican women just defeated Beyoncé as the most admired people in the world. Liberals love to pat themselves on the back and claim the moral high ground over Republicans, despite the fact that they support abortion and welcome the degradation of America's cultural values in the name of tolerance and diversity. Loudmouth liberal politicians, media figures and celebrities like to consider themselves to be respected, although they just received a jolt when a recent poll shows that more and more conservative public figures are increasingly being respected instead. Nonpartisan research group Gallup recently put out its annual list of the people who are most admired by Americans. Pop singer and outspoken Obama supporter Beyoncé Knowles, who usually holds a high position on the list, was unexpectedly supplanted by 3 female conservatives. Ahead of Beyoncé on the list were George W. Bush's former National Security Advisor Condoleezza Rice, current First Lady Melania Trump and current U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Nikki Haley. Described Gallup in their write-up about slumping support for liberals, Clinton's and Obama's standings this year are more tenuous than in the past. They continued, the 9% who name Clinton is the lowest percentage she has received since 2002, when 7% named her in another close first-place finish. Clinton won the title this year in the same poll she registered a personal low favorable rating. This indicates she remains top of mind for enough people who like her to be named more than any other woman in response to the open-ended question, finishing ahead of some women who may be better liked overall but are not as prominent in people's minds. The percentage of adults naming Obama as the most admired man is down from 22% last year, but he has been at or near 17% in several other years. Are you glad more and more people are respecting prominent Republican women? CNN tries to get President Trump kicked off Twitter, it backfires miserably. CNN's Brian Stelter attempted to get President Trump kicked off of Twitter for good after the president's infamous tweet about Kim Jong-un and the nuclear button. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un just stated that the nuclear button is on his desk at all times. Will someone from his depleted and food-starved regime please inform him that I too have a nuclear button, but it is a much bigger and more powerful one than his, and my button works? Tweeted President Trump. Brian Stelter believes this broke Twitter's rules and reported it. He said it was a violent threat. You may not make specific threats of violence or wish for the serious physical harm, death, or disease of an individual or group of people, says Twitter's guidelines. Trump is the biggest reason Twitter is still in business, and so of course, they rejected Stelter's ridiculous claim. We hold all accounts to the same rules, and consider a number of factors when assessing whether tweets violate our rules, responded Twitter. Twitter claimed that Trump's tweet was too vague to be considered a threat. Nice try, CNN. No matter how much they want to censor our president and stop him from speaking the truth, they will fail. MSNBC falls for fake news story about Trump watching the Gorilla Channel for 17 hours a day. A Twitter account decided to write a fake excerpt from Wolf's new anti-Trump book Fire and Fury. It accused Trump of demanding that his White House staff find him the Gorilla Channel that he watches for 17 hours a day. The excerpt was supposed to be a joke, and over-the-top ridiculous. Unfortunately, thousands of liberals fell for it. Wow, this extract from Wolf's book is a shocking insight into Trump's mind, wrote the Twitter account that pixelated boat on his first night in the White House. President Trump complained that the TV in his bedroom was broken, because it didn't have the Gorilla Channel. Trump seemed to be under the impression that a TV channel existed that screened nothing but gorilla-based content, 24 hours a day. It said. To appease Trump, White House staff compiled a number of gorilla documentaries into a makeshift Gorilla Channel, broadcast into Trump's bedroom from a hastily constructed transmission tower on the South Lawn. However, Trump is unhappy with the channel they had created, moaning that it was boring because the gorillas aren't fighting. It said. It continued, staff edited out all the parts of the documentaries where gorillas weren't hitting each other, and at last the president was satisfied. On some days he'll watch the Gorilla Channel for 17 hours straight, an insider told me, it said. The same user posted a follow-up, writing, that feeling when you parody a guy making up shit about Trump but people believe it so you become part of the problem. So many liberals fell for it, including Scott Dorkin, an MSNBC contributor, who angrily tweeted about it. Eric Garland, who describes himself as strategic intelligence analyst for corporations and governments, also fell for it. Meghan McCain crushes View hosts for saying Trump can't be president because his father had Alzheimer's. The ladies of The View tried to diagnose President Trump with a mental condition because they don't like his way of thinking and talking. They were discussing the newest tabloid garbage book against Trump, Fire and Fury, when they brought up the fact that Trump's father had Alzheimer's disease. "We know that Trump's father died after having Alzheimer's for 6 years," said Hostin. "The implication is that President Trump has it as well. We're gonna talk about that because he's reportedly unraveling over this. He's yelling at staffers, he can't stop watching all the bad press about him, he repeats these terrible things people say about him over and over again," claimed Behar without evidence. They continued to talk about Trump and his father, who died in 1999, connecting the death to President Trump. "I'm sorry, do any of us have a medical degree, though?" said Meghan McCain finally. "This is an ambiguous area, self-diagnosing, we're not doctors. And again, there's a lot of bigger problems that are going on, and diagnosing our president's mental health, we're not doctors, we're talk show hosts," said McCain. "Are you sick of the fake news media constantly trying to diagnose the president with mental health diseases?"